Hello everyone, and welcome to today's presentation. I'm excited to share with you our approach to automated Playwright testing for Microsoft 365 using GitHub Actions. On this first slide, you'll see the title, Automated Playwright Testing for Microsoft 365 with GitHub Actions. We'll explore how this integration can enhance app reliability, improve security, and boost development efficiency through continuous integration and robust test automation. Over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the key concepts and benefits of this approach. Let's get started. Welcome to our discussion on automating Playwright tests for Microsoft 365 with GitHub Actions. Automating your testing process really simplifies the development workflow for teams. It allows developers to concentrate more on building new features rather than spending time on manual testing tasks. By automating, we can streamline the entire development process, making it more efficient and less prone to human error. Ensuring safe authentication practices is also a key benefit of automated testing, especially when it comes to maintaining the security of Microsoft 365 solutions. Automating tests on every code push means that potential issues are caught early, which significantly improves app reliability. This continuous testing reduces the manual effort needed to maintain and troubleshoot applications. Integrating Playwright tests with GitHub Actions workflows offers a powerful way to enable automated testing of Microsoft 365 solutions. It provides fast feedback on code changes, helping teams identify and fix issues quickly, and ultimately strengthens our test automation efforts. Let's go over the key prerequisites you'll need to run your tests smoothly. First, having a basic understanding of JavaScript or TypeScript, along with some familiarity with Microsoft 365 management, is really essential. This foundation helps you create effective test cases and troubleshoot issues more easily. Next, you'll need a code editor, like Visual Studio Code, that supports JavaScript or TypeScript. This makes writing and managing your scripts much more seamless. Then, it's important to have Node.js installed on your computer. Without it, you won't be able to run the Playwright tests. Just make sure the version you install is compatible with the testing framework we're using. Lastly, to actually run these tests, you'll need a GitHub account and a dedicated Microsoft 365 tenant for testing purposes. I strongly recommend using a separate Microsoft 365 test account to protect your real data and avoid any accidental mistakes in your main environment. This way, you can test confidently without risking your primary setup. Now, let's move on to setting up our Microsoft 365 test environment. The first step is to decide the expected duration for your tests. This is really important because it helps you plan your resources more effectively and ensures your testing process runs smoothly without unexpected delays. Next, before jumping into cloud testing, it's crucial to verify that your tests run correctly on your local machine. Doing this upfront gives you a stable baseline and helps catch any issues early, saving time later. Once your local tests are solid, the next step is to leverage cloud browsers with Microsoft Playwright testing. Using cloud browsers allows for scalable and efficient test execution, which is especially helpful when testing across multiple environments or browsers. You also want to check the Azure region you're using for remote browser execution. Picking the right region ensures optimal performance and minimizes latency, so your tests run faster and more reliably. Finally, don't forget to adjust the number of parallel workers. Finding the right balance here is key. More workers can speed things up, but too many might strain your resources. Optimizing this setting helps you achieve the best performance without overloading your environment. Let's talk about installing Playwright in browsers. First, always make sure you have the necessary permissions before starting the installation. Permission errors are quite common and can really cause delays or failures in the process, so it's important to check this up front. Next, when installing your project dependencies, use the command npm-ci. This command helps ensure that all required packages are correctly installed and consistent across environments, which is crucial for reliable testing. After that, you'll want to run npx playwright install with deps. This command takes care of installing the browsers needed for your tests. However, if automatic browser installation doesn't work, perhaps due to permission issues or other configuration problems, you might need to install the browsers manually. Addressing these issues early on can save a lot of time down the line and make sure your setup is smooth and reliable. So, in summary, verify permissions first, install dependencies properly, then install browsers, and finally, be prepared to troubleshoot common issues like permission errors. This approach helps keep your testing environment stable and ready for automation. Creating robust test scripts with Playwright is all about efficiency and reliability. One key strategy is running tests in parallel, which can significantly cut down your testing time and boost overall productivity. By executing multiple tests at once, you save valuable time and get faster feedback. Another important aspect is mocking API requests. This not only speeds up your tests, but also reduces dependencies on external services, making your tests more stable and predictable. When it comes to selecting element selectors, choosing stable options like data attributes or ARIA labels is crucial. These are less likely to change compared to class names, which can be volatile, and helps prevent your tests from breaking due to UI updates. For test data, avoid hard-coding values directly into your scripts. Instead, use environment variables or external files. This makes your tests more flexible and easier to adapt to different environments or scenarios. Lastly, using fixtures for setup and teardown helps maintain a consistent testing environment. It ensures that each test starts from a known state and remains reliable and repeatable. All of these practices together build more resilient, efficient, and maintainable test scripts with Playwright, perfectly aligning with our goal of delivering high-quality automation for Microsoft 365 with GitHub Actions. Let's dive into some best practices for writing effective test scripts, especially when using automated Playwright testing for Microsoft 365 with GitHub Actions. First, one key point is mocking requests to external services. This helps ensure that our tests run quickly and stay stable. By mocking these external calls, we minimize dependencies on outside systems and keep our test environment consistent, which is crucial for reliable results. Next, it's important to utilize Playwright locators for precise and reliable element targeting. Using accurate locators reduces the chances of flaky tests, those unpredictable failures, and makes our scripts more stable overall. Another best practice is employing varied inputs without duplicating code. This allows us to test multiple scenarios effectively while keeping our code simple and maintainable, ultimately improving our test coverage. We also need to remember to clean up test data after each run. This prevents leftover data from interfering with subsequent tests, maintaining the integrity and reliability of our testing environment. Finally, focusing on testing the most critical workflows helps us ensure that the essential functionalities of our application are robust. Prioritizing these high-impact areas allows us to identify and address key issues early in the development process. When handling Microsoft 365 authentication in our tests, it's crucial to keep security front and center. One key practice is storing usernames and passwords in environment variables within your CI/CD pipeline. This way, your credentials stay out of the source code, reducing the risk of exposure. Next, for multi-factor authentication, you can use tools like Authplib, which generate time-based one-time passwords, or OTPs. This approach makes automating MFA much simpler, without sacrificing security. If your setup involves SMS-based MFA, APIs like GetMyMFA can help retrieve verification codes automatically. This streamlines the process, saving time and avoiding manual steps during testing. Another efficient method is to log in manually once, save that session state, and reuse it during subsequent tests. This reduces the need to authenticate repeatedly, speeding up your test runs and decreasing overhead. Of course, protecting access tokens and credentials is vital. Using Microsoft Entra ID for login helps manage this securely, and always revoke tokens immediately if you suspect any compromise. All these strategies work together to ensure that our automated testing process remains secure, efficient, and aligned with best practices for handling sensitive authentication data. Let's talk about ensuring quality test data and permissions, which is crucial for reliable testing. First, it's important to use dedicated test accounts with the right permissions for SharePoint, Teams, or other Microsoft 365 apps. This way, your tests stay isolated and won't interfere with your production environment. Next, preparing your test data before running tests is key. And don't forget to clean it up afterward to keep your environment organized and consistent. This helps ensure that each test run starts fresh and reduces any potential conflicts. Mocking or stubbing external dependencies is also vital. It keeps your tests fast and stable by minimizing the influence of external factors, like network issues or third-party services. Additionally, saving logs and screenshots during testing provides valuable artifacts for post-test analysis. These can be essential for debugging and improving the reliability of your tests. Finally, tailoring your Playwright tests to specific Microsoft 365 components, such as document libraries, chat, meetings, and app add-ons, ensures that your tests are relevant and accurately reflect the platform's unique features. All of these practices together help maintain a robust testing environment, making sure your tests are reliable, isolated, and meaningful. All right, let's dive into setting up GitHub actions for our Playwright tests. The first step is to create a workflow YAML file in your repository. For example, you would typically place this in the Workflows directory and call it Playwright, YML. This file is where all the automation magic begins. Next, you'll want to set up triggers for your workflow. Think of triggers as the conditions that kick off your tests. Common triggers include code pushes and pull requests. This way, every time someone updates the code or submits a pull request, your tests automatically run, ensuring everything stays working smoothly with every change. Now, let's talk about configuring the jobs within this workflow. You'll specify environment variables to control how the tests run, and also select the runner environment, like Ubuntu latest. This step is crucial because it guarantees your tests run in a consistent environment, reducing the chance of unexpected failures caused by differences in setups. Moving on, the workflow needs steps to get everything ready. This includes checking out your code, installing dependencies, installing the necessary Playwright browsers, and finally running the tests. These steps are the backbone of your automation, preparing everything so your tests can execute successfully and reliably. Finally, to speed things up and increase coverage, you can use a matrix strategy. This means running your tests across multiple browsers at the same time, like Chrome, Firefox, and Safari, simultaneously. Not only does this cut down your testing time, but it also ensures your application works seamlessly across all major browsers. So, in summary, creating this workflow file, setting triggers, configuring the environment, including all necessary steps, and using a matrix for parallel testing. These are the key points that make automated Playwright testing with GitHub Actions both efficient and effective. Now, let's look at how we configure dependencies in our workflow. First, we run npm CI to install all the project dependencies reliably. This step is crucial because it ensures that we have a consistent and clean environment every time the workflow runs, preventing any unexpected issues. Next, we execute npx playwright install with the withdeps flag. This command installs the necessary browsers along with their dependencies, which prepares the environment specifically for Playwright testing. Sometimes, your tests might require additional setup, like installing a development proxy or other tools. Including these setup commands tailors the runner environment to meet your specific testing needs. Finally, it's important to verify that the runner has all the tools and browsers ready for Playwright. This step guarantees that our tests will run smoothly and efficiently, minimizing the chances of failures due to missing components. Overall, these steps are about making sure our environment is perfectly prepared for reliable and effective testing. When managing environment variables and secrets, it's important to leverage special test accounts and ensure that test data is reset after each run. This helps us maintain both security and consistency in our testing environment, so tests stay reliable and safe. Also, avoid hard-coding credentials directly into your test scripts. Hard-coded credentials pose a risk of accidental exposure, which we definitely want to prevent. Instead, use environment variables within your workflow YAML files to securely reference stored secrets. This way, your automation processes stay integrated and protected. And speaking of security, always store sensitive data like passwords and URLs in GitHub secrets. This approach keeps your secrets out of your codebase and reduces the risk of leaks. Overall, these practices help us create a secure, stable testing environment that supports our broader goal of reliable and safe automation. Let's talk about some best practices for running Playwright tests effectively. First, cross-browser compatibility is crucial. I recommend running your tests across Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit browsers. This way, you ensure your Microsoft 365 apps work seamlessly across all major browsers, giving users a consistent experience regardless of their choice. Next, visual regression testing is a powerful technique. Using methods like to have screenshot or to match snapshot, you can catch any unintended UI changes. This helps maintain a consistent look and feel, which is vital for user satisfaction and trust. Another important point is the auto-wait feature in Playwright. This feature handles slow-loading pages gracefully by automatically waiting for elements to be ready. It significantly reduces flaky tests, which can be frustrating and time-consuming to troubleshoot. Finally, isolating tests with browser contexts is a best practice. By creating separate contexts for each test, we prevent state leakage between tests. This isolation ensures that each test runs independently and reliably, which is key for accurate results. All these practices together help us build robust, reliable, and maintainable test suites that align with our goal of delivering high-quality Microsoft 365 experiences. Once your tests have run, you can use GitHub Actions to easily view the summarized test results. This provides a quick overview of how everything performed without digging through logs. If you want more details, you can access comprehensive reports that include notes and tags, giving you deeper insights into specific test cases. This helps in identifying exactly where issues might be occurring. Setting up alerts is also a key step. You can notify your team immediately if any tests fail, so everyone can respond quickly and address problems without delay. This proactive approach keeps your development cycles smooth and efficient. Another powerful feature is integrating Playwright with Microsoft Teams using the Playwright Teams Reporter package. This allows you to send real-time test results directly to your team channels, fostering better collaboration and transparency. Everyone stays informed, and issues can be tackled faster, ultimately helping to maintain and improve your app's quality. In summary, these tools and techniques, viewing summarized results, setting alerts, and integrating with teams, work together to ensure your testing process is thorough, responsive, and keeps your app at its best. Let's talk about troubleshooting common issues that can come up during automated Playwright testing for Microsoft 365 with GitHub Actions. First, maintaining a stable test environment is crucial. If your environment fluctuates, your automation results can become inconsistent, so always verify that all configurations and dependencies are correctly set up and stable. This helps ensure reliable test outcomes. Next, when troubleshooting, reviewing logs and screenshots is invaluable. They can help you pinpoint the root cause of failures quickly and effectively. This step is vital because it guides your next actions in resolving issues. Another common challenge is discrepancies between local and cloud test results. These differences can cause inconsistencies, so it's important to adjust parameters like timeouts and to keep your tools and browsers up to date. Aligning the test environments as closely as possible reduces surprises during execution. WebSocket connection failures are also a frequent hurdle. These can disrupt your automation workflows, but checking your network conditions and verifying environment variables can often resolve these issues. It's all about ensuring your environment is stable and properly configured. Finally, addressing common GitHub Actions issues, such as timeout errors, involves reviewing logs and screenshots thoroughly. Doing so allows you to diagnose failures more effectively and keep your automation running smoothly. By staying vigilant and systematic in troubleshooting, we can keep our testing pipeline reliable and efficient, aligning perfectly with the overall goal of robust automation for Microsoft 365. Let's talk about some advanced tips to make your test automation even more efficient. First up is saving and reusing session storage. By doing this, you can bypass repeated MFA prompts, which not only speeds up your tests, but also makes them more reliable. This technique really helps reduce overall test execution time and boosts your productivity. Next, integrating Playwright tests into your CI/CD pipelines is crucial. It allows you to run automated tests at every stage of your deployment process, ensuring that your releases are both rapid and dependable. This continuous testing helps catch issues early and maintains high quality throughout development. Another key point is the use of fixtures. Fixtures are great for setting up and tearing down test data consistently. They help ensure your tests are stable and reduce the amount of manual effort needed, which keeps your testing process smooth and dependable. Finally, enhancing your automation with custom timeouts is vital for dealing with dynamic or changing content. By adjusting timeouts, your tests can better handle unpredictable application behaviors, making them more robust and adaptable to real-world conditions. All these techniques together help you build faster, more reliable, and more maintainable test suites, which ultimately supports seamless delivery and continuous improvement. Now, let's discuss some of the frequently asked questions we encounter when automating Playwright testing for Microsoft 365 with GitHub Actions. First, what should you do if your tests fail only in GitHub Actions and not locally? The key here is to check environment variables, permissions, and logs carefully. Sometimes, dependencies might be outdated or misconfigured, so updating those can resolve the issue. Next, if you want to send your Playwright test results directly to Microsoft Teams, you'll need to install and configure the Playwright Teams reporter. This integration makes it easier to keep your team informed about test outcomes without leaving your communication platform. When it comes to handling multi-factor authentication, or MFA, in automated tests, there are a few options. You can use OTP plugins, leverage APIs, or even save sessions securely to bypass MFA prompts during testing. This ensures your tests run smoothly without manual intervention. Another common question is whether you can run Playwright tests across multiple browsers at the same time. The answer is yes. By employing the matrix strategy within your workflow YAML, you can execute tests across different browsers simultaneously, which saves time and enhances coverage. Finally, storing your Microsoft 365 credentials securely in GitHub Actions is crucial. The best practice is to use GitHub secrets and environment variables. This way, your credentials are protected and your workflows remain secure. These are some of the practical solutions and tips that help make your automated testing more reliable and efficient. Now, as we wrap up, I want to point out that for comprehensive instructions, you should visit the full article available at the link provided. Exploring this detailed guidance can really help you implement automated Playwright testing for Microsoft 365 using GitHub Actions effectively. Remember, automated testing plays a crucial role in improving the overall quality of Microsoft 365 apps. It helps minimize errors and ensures that the apps perform reliably across different scenarios. By adopting this approach, you can significantly speed up your release cycles. It reduces the manual effort involved in testing while still maintaining high standards of quality, so you can deliver updates faster and more confidently. Finally, integrating automated Playwright testing with GitHub Actions empowers your development process. It provides continuous, reliable testing, secure credential management, and actionable reports to keep you informed about your app's health. These tools come together to streamline your workflow and ensure your Microsoft 365 apps are robust and ready for users.